Hi, I am Margot Gray, and I am the founder of CoordiKids. I'm also the program developer of CoordiKindy. And I want to congratulate you for your purchase and for the fact that you are going to use CoordiKindy in your center. Um, and I want to welcome you. You are now a member of CoordiKids. Being a member of CoordiKids entitles you to use the CoordiKindy program in your center on all computers that you have and in all classes. You can use this training presentation as often as you need. So if new educators come into your center, please make sure that they use the presentation and that they make themselves aware of the program and how to use it. You are also entitled to free consultations with us. You can discuss the program with us. You can discuss any specific issues that you have with children with us. And if you have any problems regarding to run this program in a group or in a class, or just in the reaction of the children, please don't hesitate to contact us. You are entitled to that. So why did you purchase CoordiKindy? First of all, you can use this program to prevent problems in the children in your care. Secondly, it's very easy to use. Thirdly, it is a very good movement option to use for those times that kids had to stay indoors or they had to sit for a long period of time, and you know that they need to move a little bit before they can concentrate on the next task. You can use some of these exercises or a whole set of these exercises, and that will help them to concentrate. It will also build their specific skills and specifically the sensory motor skills, which I will explain later. You don't need to prepare anything to use this program. Your hands will also be free to observe the children, to support them and to guide them. You don't have to do the exercises with them. If you want to join in, you can, but your hands will be free to observe. Even if they do exercises with their eyes closed, or even if they have to do the stretches, then you will be able to observe and to see any strange behavior or anything that might indicate that the child has problems. So how does CoordiKindy work? First of all, you have video recorded exercises to use. The children follow the actors. They don't follow you, they follow the actors on the screen. The actors are both very engaging and encouraging. That is Paul and Samantha, and they are both occupational therapists, and they are just lovely, and the kids will love to work with them. The program stretches over a 30-week period. Every week there is a new set of exercises. So you can, for 30 weeks, in consecutive weeks, you can use a different set of exercises. The exercises follows the developmental stages. So the program starts at week 1, and then it follows the development, the normal typical development of a child until you get to week 30. So it is graded. So week 1 is much easier than week 30. So don't start at week 30. Please start at week 1 and work your way up to week 30. The ideal thing is to repeat these exercises at least 5 times per week or 5 days per week, and then rest 2 days and then do the same exercises the next week. Now, I know that it is a bit difficult in childcare centers because not all children attend the center for 5 consecutive days. They might come 2 or 3 days per week, so you might adjust the program, and that's why we have 30 separate weeks for you. So the program is graded really slowly. From week 1, week 2 is just slightly more difficult, week 3 a little bit more difficult. So you can use it weekly. You can also spend a fortnight on each set of exercises that is labeled week 1 or week 2, depending on how often the children come to your school and depending on what the skill level is of the children in your center, because if the skills are quite high, if the children are mostly typical developed and you just want to use this program to ensure that all of them are typically developed, then you might only spend 1 week on a set of exercises that is labeled week 1 or week 2. So I leave that a little bit to your own decision. You can make the decision on exactly how fast you are going to progress through the program, because you have to observe the children in your care. And you can repeat it as often as necessary. You can do these exercises 2, 3, 4 times a day. It cannot do the kids any harm. It can only build their skills. So what are the sensory motor skills that we talk about? First of all, the sensory motor skills are part of the foundation of development. So we look at a child's development according to this pyramid. So at the bottom, you get the sensory modulation of all your different senses, the blue area. Then the orange is your sensory motor skills. They are built on the effective sensory processing. Sensory motor skills include posture, muscle tone, motor planning, crossing the midline of the body, how well the two sides of the body can work together, and then subsequently also hand-eye coordination, fine motor skills, perception. And on top of that, analysis and synthesis will develop, like, planning and completing puzzles, for instance. Then the forming of personal relationships, creativity, problem solving. And on top of this pyramid, you get your typical classroom and academic skills, like reading, writing, and spelling, and mathematics, of course. And also the ability to work appropriately and to start tasks, finish tasks in the set time, to have a good consecutive functioning, good motor planning, and we can compare this pyramid to an iceberg. The iceberg, you only see the tip, but under the water there is a very big part that supports the tip. And if there are cracks in that supportive part under the water, then definitely there will be cracks in the tip, and the tip might even break. So we can compare that to a child. You see the little yellow tip in the classroom, and that is called the child's behavior and his learning skills. But that is supported by all the skills that needs to develop before the child get there. That's why a child can't go to the classroom when he is 1 year old, because he did not develop all the skills that are necessary to learn and to succeed academically. This is very important to keep this in mind, because the CoordiKindy program and the CoordiKids, all the CoordiKids programs, focus on that very, very important foundational skills. And we've seen that in therapy sessions so many times. Once those skills are well developed and once the child can do it, then many other skills fall into place, and then the child can usually concentrate and are ready to learn. So if those skills are not well developed, we have also found that the best way to develop them is daily exercise. Often it's much more effective than weekly or fortnightly individual therapy sessions. So if you can do very good exercises at home daily, then it is almost more beneficial than individual therapy sessions. So that's why we created these programs. So the layout of the program is quite complex. As you can see there on my computer screens, I use research studies and I use huge Excel spreadsheets to work to develop these programs. So you on that screen, you only see a part of the one of the sheets, and there are 12 sheets. So I need to put out every little thing so that we can address reflex integration, improve the core muscle strength, improve posture and balance, work on bilateral integration and sequencing. That includes the crossing of the midline of the body, and it includes the concept of left and right, and it includes the development of a dominant hand. The program also includes lots of rhythm, because that's really important for motor planning and for concentration. It includes finger-hand exercises, it includes eye movement exercises, and also oral motor exercises. So all of these are really important in the end to make sure that that little tip of the iceberg at the top, that the yellow triangle, are well supported by a strong foundation. So we use a lot of repetition. A new experience leads to new brain connections. Then when you repeat that experience, we talk about you use it or you lose it. If you repeat it a few times, preferably 5 times on 5 consecutive days, then those new brain connections become part of your permanent brain structure. And that's how a child develops. And that's how we encourage development through CoordiKindy programs. So literally that's a synapse, and literally the dendrites develop when you use these exercises and when the child has new experiences. And literally the brain becomes larger and heavier. So the ideal, as I said before, is 5 times per week for 2 weeks, but it's not possible in a daycare center. So you can also do it 3 to 5 times per week for 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the children in your class. If you see a single child with a few issues, with a single exercise, then you might show the exercise to the parent, and you might ask them to practice a little more at home. If you see in a single child there are multiple issues and they struggle with many of the exercises, please refer that child to a professional, a physiotherapist, an occupational therapist, to do more assessments and to provide therapy to this child. Before the child reaches school age, it's so important to get all these developments in place before they need to do the academic learning. CoordiKindy can also be used in the first year of school. That's quite appropriate. The kids will love it. It will help with concentration in the class, and it will just fine-tune those skills to make sure that they are really ready and well developed. Okay, so how do you present this program? First of all, schedule it in your daily program. Don't do it randomly. Don't say, oh, we'll see if we have time after morning tea, we might do it quickly. Schedule it at the very specific time so that the children knows, or that the children know that they need to do it directly before morning tea, we're going to do this, or when we come back from morning tea, we're going to do that, or before we start with the day, we're going to do the CoordiKids programs. Schedule it at a specific time, otherwise you might just forget about it and the children won't be ready. If it is part of your daily schedule, then they are prepared to do that. You have to be online, so make sure that you have a connection before you start. You need to be positive and excited. If you are not positive and excited, you can't expect the children to be. If there are tips and precautions, there aren't many, because the actors often say what you need to do and what you need to look out for. And they talk to the children, so it makes it really easy for you. But if there are any tips and precautions, just read them, please, and make sure that you do what we ask you to do. So Samantha and Paul are really engaging, and they are lovely people, and the kids will love to work with them. So while the kids follow them, you need to observe the children, and you need to observe if there is any children who have specific issues, and then you can support that child. If they aren't, you can join them. You can also have fun, and you can enjoy these exercises with the children. It is really a lot of fun, and you will even find that your concentration is better after you've done these exercises. But you also need to support the kids, you need to assist them, and you need them to give them guidance if necessary. So what is the expected outcome? The children's skills will improve. They will have an improved ability to learn. So their listening skills will improve. They will find it easier to follow directions. Gross and fine motor skills will improve. And they will find it easier to sit still and to listen. These exercises are, some of them are a little bit difficult for the younger child. So then you need to help that child. This is one of the exercises that we use for brain bridging and for encouraging a good concept of left and right. As I said, it is to make sure that the foundational skills are developed. So how to use it? Again, it's online. You need your username and password for the center. Prepare the children, make sure they are ready for exercise. We had a lot of fun when we compiled the program, when we video recorded the exercises. Make sure that you have fun as well. Follow the video recording. All the sets of exercises end with a stretch and with breathing exercises. And it's important to do that because that will leave the children in a good state to focus and to concentrate. And follow the sequence of the program. Start with week 1 and follow the sequence to week 30. Depending on the children, you might do it slower or faster. Use your observations to identify developmental issues. And what do you need to observe? First of all, you need to observe the children's posture. Posture is very important. It tells you about the core muscles, of course. It tells you about the muscle tone, but it also tells you about how the child feels about these programs. And if they don't feel positive about it, then their posture might look like this, and it might be because they find it tricky and difficult and they need more support. Look at the facial expression. If they are reluctant to do it, once again, they might need extra support. Check their breathing. Shallow breathing, fast breathing might indicate some anxiety, which also tells you that this child is finding this tricky. And they might not be able to do all the repetitions expected of them, and that might request of you to ask the parents to do a little bit more exercise at home to help this child to strengthen his muscles. Check the children's reaction before, during, and after the session. Sometimes that tells you a lot about how difficult it is for a specific child. If a child don't feel like that after the exercises, then you need to consider if you need to refer this child for more assessment, or if you have to give this child individual attention and perhaps practice some of these exercises individually where there isn't an audience. Your accurate observations will identify developmental issues which a therapist can solve before the child needs to go to formal school. So you also need to set an example. Be excited. If you are excited, the children will be. Be positive. Value the program and the exercises. Don't talk down about the exercises. Tell the kids you will enjoy this and you will progress, and it will help you to learn and to show other people how clever you are. And of course, if you need to do compliments, and do that quite often, but be genuine, kids will definitely see through you, and they will never ever believe you again if you are not honest with them. Support the children without criticizing them. It's very easy to criticize. It's very easy but children, especially those who struggle and who find things difficult, are very, very sensitive to any criticism. So also share your positive attitude with parents. If you can tell them about the program and you are positive about the program, the parents will also be positive, and that will help the children to be positive as well. Just a few things about safety. Just check the space around each child. A child needs a space of about the length of their arms. If they stretch their arms out straight from their shoulders, that's about the space they need for the exercises, not much more than that. Just make sure that they stand a little bit different distance from furniture and walls so that they don't bump into them. Look out for clowning behavior. Clowning behavior often indicates that a child finds it difficult, and they will play up and be funny and make jokes, and it might actually just be because they find it really tricky. I see that a lot with specifically boys. And specifically with balancing exercises. If they find that tricky, they just make so much fun out of it. And not in a good way. They really like clowns, and you just feel, please just behave yourself, then you'll be able to do it. But they behave in that way because they can't do it. So look out for that. Also look out for those kids with possibly a little bit of low muscle tone. They might fatigue and they might be really tired after these exercises. So just give them some time to rest and look out for that. Encourage that deep breathing before they continue on to other activities. Some of the exercises involve spinning or rolling, and some of the children with problems with the vestibular processing might feel dizzy after that. So to counteract the dizziness, ask them to do some push-ups, wall push-ups like that little boy, and they can also push and pull heavy objects, push onto each other. That might also work, and that will definitely take the dizziness away. Never, ever, ever, please never use CoordiKindy to reward or to punish. It is just a program that all the kids participate in. Don't use it for rewards or punishment, because then kids might use it as a in a power struggle with you, and it might just become a really unpleasant situation. Also, never make fun of any child, especially the children who have a little bit of problems, are very sensitive. Never ever laugh at a child's effort. And I can tell you that I have been guilty of this, because sometimes a child looks just so awkward and so funny that before you know it, you laughed, and it's not the best thing to do. Please try not to do that. If you laugh at a child, the others will join in and they will laugh at the child as well, and that will just be a very nasty situation. Of course, never tease a child. I'm sure you never ever do that. And never ignore a child. Ignoring a child is as bad as punishing a child. So just make sure that you can even just make eye contact. Then the child knows that you are actually seeing the child and you are aware that the child is there. So to ignore a child is very bad, and the child might play up and they might have some negative behavior just because they feel that nobody sees them. Try not ever be in this position with a child, especially while you do the program or just before or after the CoordiKindy program, because that puts you in a position opposite the child and not as part of the child's team and not in a supportive position, and that won't get the best out of the child. Also, do not discuss the child issues in front of others or within any child's hearing distance. And we are often guilty of that. And please don't do it, because children listen, and it's so easy to start with a conversation about something completely different, and then you deviate a little bit, and in the end you talk about the child and you forget that the child is just next to you or behind you. They listen to everything. They hear often, I think they hear half of it, but then they make up their own story and they come to their own conclusions, which is often far from what is actually true. So make sure that you don't discuss the kids' participation and in the group of CoordiKindy. Always, please compliment positive efforts, and I don't say compliment positive outcomes, I say compliment positive effort. So if the child tries and try their best, then compliment them on the effort. Take it away from the child. You tried hard today. I like the way that you lifted your hand up. Or I saw that leg of you didn't really want to move forward. Can I help you to practice a little bit so that we can teach that leg to move and that leg to listen to what you tell the leg to do? Take it away from you couldn't do it. Take it to the leg or the arm or the hand that didn't want to listen. That often just give that little bit of, oh, thank goodness it wasn't me. And you see that in their facial expressions if you talk like that. Okay, so be proud of the children in your care. Just be really proud of them. They will feel it, and they will be proud of you as an educator as well. Use simple rewards for efforts. You're an educator, you know which rewards work and which doesn't. I don't believe in buying things, and I like to reward for efforts and not for actual end products, especially in the age group that you're working with. Um, Also, always be in the same team as the child. Don't be in an opposite team, and don't be opposed to the child. Be behind the child, supporting, be there for the child. They should always, even if your arm is not around their shoulders, they should feel that my educator is behind me, and they should feel that the same way as that child. I have support. I have somebody who believes in me. Okay, well, our passion for children and our love for children brought the CoordiKids team where we are today. And I'm sure that we can help you in our little way with our program to take your children with the passion that you have to be well developed, well um, educated children ready for the academic learning. And we are looking forward to support you, and please don't hesitate to contact us. We are there to support. You are part of our team. You are a member of CoordiKids. We look forward to work with you and to collaborate to make your children very happy and well-developed individuals.